Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, titled The Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 1, The First Step in God Realization, text number 3. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena cha vavayaha divacharte hayarajan kutumba bharanena va. Translation. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport. The present human civilization is primarily based on the principles of sleeping and sex indulgence at night and earning money in the day and spending the same for family maintenance. Such a form of human civilization is condemned by the Bhagavata school. Because human life is a combination of matter and spirit soul, the whole process of Vedic knowledge is directed at liberating the spirit soul from the contamination of matter. The knowledge concerning this is called Atma Tattva. Those men who are too materialistic are unaware of this knowledge and are more inclined to economic development for material enjoyment. Such materialistic men are called karmis or fruitive laborers, and they are allowed regulated economic development or association of women for sex indulgence. Those who are above the karmis, that is, the jnanis, yogis, and devotees, are strictly prohibited from sex indulgence. The karmis are more or less devoid of Atma Tattva knowledge, and as such, their life is spent without spiritual profit. The human life is not meant for hard labor for economic development, nor is it meant for sex indulgence like that of the dogs and hogs. It is specially meant for making a solution to the problems of material life and the miseries thereof. So, the karmis waste their valuable human life by sleeping and sex indulgence at night, and by laboring hard in the daytime to accumulate wealth, and after doing so, they try to improve the standard of materialistic life. The materialistic way of life is described here in a nutshell, and how foolishly men waste the boon of human life is described as follows in the next verses. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So before we delve into the discussion of today's verse, I would like to recall a few incidents reported in the news in the recent past. Just 3 days back, on October 16th, 2025, in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, one tragedy happened, reported in the news. A 22-year-old student, young man, was beaten to death by cops for refusing 10,000 rupees bribe while he was celebrating his first job. So this young man had just got his job, and somehow he got caught by police, and police demanded 10,000 rupees bribe. He did not give, was beaten to death. The family is demanding CBI probe into this incident. So this was on Instagram. It has not even been covered in all the main newspapers. So here we see death due to the violence of police. Those who must protect law have themselves broken the law, murdered this boy. But is it only such things happen? Just few more days before, on October 10th, 2025, one more incident reported in Hindustan Times. 33-year-old killed, 5 injured as a truck trailer rams multiple cars on Delhi-Jaipur expressway. A 33-year-old man was killed and at least 5 others were injured after a speeding trailer truck traveling downhill rammed multiple vehicles during a snarl on Delhi-Jaipur expressway in Manesar on Thursday night. Investigators said that the deceased was Sandeep Kumar Turan of Barna in Kurukshetra. He was working as a senior engineer at an automobile manufacturing firm, Hero Moto Corp, at Jaipur. The critically injured people were his colleagues, Vinay Kumar Gupta, 32 years, Sumit Kumar, 34 years, their cab driver, Surender Kumar, 46 years. And the police said there was a snarl on the expressway and the entire traffic was moving slowly. The trailer driver, what happened, why it happened is, the truck trailer driver had likely fallen asleep and the brake failure resulted in the accident. So, since then the police are trying to trace the trailer driver and to arrest him soon. He has not been found still. So you see, one death was due to police violence, another is a death due to accident of negligence of someone else. Nothing, no fault of this person. Now let's see the next. Last month, September 23rd, 2025. 99.99 percentile in NEET, but didn't want to be a doctor. Teen dies by suicide. Anurag Anil Borkar had recently cleared NEET UG 2025 examination with a 99.99 percentile. And he wrote a suicide note to his parents. I don't want to be a doctor. He was scheduled to travel to Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh to begin his MBBS studies, but he took his life. So, is it only youngsters who are dying like this unexpectedly? Let's see, on July 14th, 2025, the Times of India reported, tragic, 114-year-old marathon runner, Fauja Singh, 114-year-old, dies in a road accident. Punjab governor says, deeply saddened. The world mourns Fauja Singh, the turbaned tornado, who passed away at 114 years in a road accident. He began his marathon journey at 89 years, becoming the oldest to complete a full marathon at 100. Punjab's governor remembered him as a symbol of resilience, inspiring millions with his determination and spirit. What happened? The person who ran 100 meters at the age of 100 years, in marathon he ran, now while crossing a road at around 3:30 p.m., he was struck by an unidentified vehicle and he later died in a private hospital. So, young, old, it's happening to everybody. Little more behind, very much in our city, which all of us must be familiar of. In June 2025, something else happened. There were so many fans gathered to celebrate the victory of RCB. And there was a stampede. Bangalore stampede. Son of Pani Puri vendor, new joinee at Tech Farm, 14-year-old schoolgirl among the 11 killed. Eyewitnesses to the Bangalore stampede say that the limited police presence and very few security guards at Chinnaswamy Stadium on Wednesday. That father of this 14-year-old, who was a Pani Puri vendor, he says, I did not allow him to clean the plates at my Pani Puri shop because I wanted him to go to college. I brought him up with a lot of care. Now he is gone. Another story of the same stampede. B.T. Lakshman, father of 21-year-old Bhumik Lakshman, was crying on his son's grave. He said, "What happened to my son should not happen to anyone else. The land was meant for his future, where he was buried. Now it holds his memory." So not only him, Shravan, 20-year-old, second-year BDS student at Ambedkar Medical and Dental College, had traveled from Chintamani to be part of celebrations. Shivalinga, a class 10 graduate from the Honigere village in Yadgir, had just collected his school leaving certificate when he decided to drop by the stadium. The teenager, whose parents work as daily wage laborers, had ambitions beyond what his humble background could offer. Prajwal, 22 years, had just appeared for a job interview. His family thought he was heading home, but he never came home. Kamakshi Devi, 29 years, worked at Amazon and was a devoted Virat Kohli fan. For her, the day was supposed to be a joyful celebration. She couldn't wait to be there, her colleague recalled, but instead of joy, the day ended in tragedy. Divyanshi, just 14 years, was coaxed into skipping school by her mother Ashwini so they could see their favorite team in person. "Maybe you will see Virat Kohli," her mother had said. The teenager's excitement turned fatal. Sahana, 25 years old, a Bosch employee and the main breadwinner for her family, had gone to the stadium with her friends. While their friends escaped with injuries, she did not survive. She was going to be married next year, her uncle said. What can ever make up for this loss? So on this rather depressing note, perhaps let us start today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Actually, it is not simply a depressing note. It is the actual reality of the world, which we often don't want to see or to give attention to. As the famous story goes, quoted by Srila Prabhupada from Mahabharata many times, the episode of Yaksha Prashna, where a Yaksha appears during the Pandavas' exile when the Pandavas want to drink water from a lake. He stops them, he tells that first you have to answer my questions, only then you can drink the water from this lake. So anyway, I am not going to narrate the whole story because most of you might be knowing this. Long and short of the story is that first all the other brothers of the Pandavas, that is Nakula, Sahadeva, then Yudhishthira, then Arjuna, then Bhima, all of them went. They did not heed the words of this Yaksha and they drank the water and they fell dead. Then in the end, Yudhishthira Maharaj went, who was Dharmaraja, and when he was stopped, he did not drink the water. He agreed. He told, "Please ask your questions, I will try to answer." And then the Yaksha goes on to ask the questions. So one of the questions in that set asked to Yudhishthira Maharaj was, "What is the most amazing thing in this world?" And Yudhishthira Maharaj replied, "Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti iha yamalayam shesham sthavaram icchanti kimascharyam tatak punam." Ahani ahani bhutani. Day after day, every day, many people, many living entities are going. Where they are going? Yamalayam. They are going to Yamalayam. They are dying. But those who are remaining behind, Shesham, Sthavaram Icchanti, desire to remain here. And they think also that they will not die. Kim Ascharyam, what is more surprising than this was the response of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So we also think, when we were all reading all these news reports, this depressing news, that what is this, Prabhu, on Sunday morning we have come after attending so nice morning program, Bhagavata, Darshanarti, Guru Puja, Kirtan, dancing, waiting for prasadam. In between, why are you disturbing our peace of mind by giving all this depressing news in Srimad Bhagavatam class? Because we also think, okay, all that may have happened, but it will not happen to me. I will not die. At least I will not die like that. Right? So, here, in this verse, Shukadeva Goswami is beginning to respond to Parikshit Maharaj's questions, which were asked at the end of first canto. These were the $1 million questions asked by Maharaj Parikshit. At the end of first canto, these are the 2 questions which he asked, and the rest of Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the answers to these questions. The questions are, what is the general duty of any human in one's life? Second question, what is the specific duty of a man who is going to die? So these 2 questions were asked by Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami, and the second canto begins with the answers by Shukadeva Goswami. While answering these questions, Shukadeva Goswami, he first glorified the merit of Maharaj Parikshit's inquiries. In the first shloka, he said, Variyan yeshate prashna kruto lokahitam nripa atmavid sammatah pumsam shrotavyadishu yaparaha. My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing. So this was what he said, glorified. Then he contrasted that glorification with what people in general inquire about and how it is of no use. So he criticized that. That was the previous verse which we discussed in the last week. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nranam Santi Sahasrashaha Apashyatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Grihamedinam. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society. So he said, they hear many subjects, but they will not hear the answers to these questions which you have asked. So what are those subject matters, or what is described in this today's verse? The subject matters are, mostly what they are busy with are, Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena cha vavayaha divacharte hayarajan kutumba bharanena va. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. Now when we read this, it is very natural to think for anyone, well, wasn't this the very thing all of us were brought up to do? Right? All of us have been told this only. And why is Bhagavatam condemning this rather? Weren't we told, work hard, and don't we tell our children also the same things? Work hard, study well, get a job, earn well, get married, buy a car, buy an apartment, have kids, raise a family, educate your kids well, and then so on and so on. I remember when I was in 10th standard, I was little playful, mischievous. Please go back. I was little mischievous, playful, not so much. I used to read, but I was not reading my academic books. I used to read so many other books. So my father told me one day, Manoj, this is the most important phase of your life. If you do well now, after that in the rest of your life, because you'll get placed in a very good college for PU, then your life is set. Then you can relax. Now you work hard. I said, okay, fine. So then started working hard, worked hard, studied well, gave the exams, got some good, decent percentage, got into a good college for pre-university. Then I thought, now my life is set, I can relax. Then when I went to PU first year, very relaxed because anyway, most important phase is over. So very relaxed, enjoying life. Then second PUC came, my parents put me into one coaching class. And then in the coaching class, that's lecturer, he said, dear students, this is the most important phase of your life. If you do well in PU, if you write very good, if you score a good rank in CET, then you will get into good colleges, your life is set. Then after that you can relax. I thought, okay, fine. Maybe this is after all, this is the most important phase. Okay, let me study. Worked hard, scored decent, okay, got some decent rank, got into a medical college. Wonderful. Now my life is set, I thought. Now you can relax. Joined the college, first year in the college, first class of anatomy, dead body dissection, standing at the in front of the dead body with all my classmates. And the anatomy lecturer comes and he says, dear students, first year is the most important phase of your life. After that, you can relax. I thought, okay. Again, worked hard. Then went on, first year over, second year over, third year over, then last year, I was thinking, okay, now soon I'm going to pass out, it's fine. Last year also I was told, the final year, last year is the most important. After that you can relax. Only that I discovered later, after the final year came internship, working for 48 hours, non-stop in the hospital, 70 hours, 60 hours. And when we told, no, I want to sleep, this is the most important phase of your life. What you learn now, that is what you can do in your practice later. So anyway, I didn't wait for further most important day. By that time, I already realized what is the most important thing. So after internship and this thing, I decided to join full time as devotee. Not because I wanted to escape that important phase, but I realized what is more important, what is the most important thing in life. So, why is Srimad Bhagavatam actually saying this is something like that is something wrong? Because these activities are common to both human beings and animals. Just the way we do it is different. The Hitopadesha mentions Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha samanyametat pashubi naranam. Ahara nidra bhaya maituna. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending are common to both human beings and animals. So what is it that is making human beings unique or special? There are two phrases given in two different versions. One says, Buddhir hi eko adhiko vishesho buddhi vihina pashuhi naranam. Intelligence is what qualifies the human being as something unique. If intelligence is not properly utilized, then he is no better than an animal. Another version says, Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho dharma vihina pashuhi naranam. Both mean the same, because with the buddhi we have to actually follow dharma. And if we don't follow, then we are no better than animals. So therefore, if we are all working hard, there is no harm in working hard, doing good, becoming successful. But as we discussed earlier, the depressing news, that death can come at any time. Even for those who are working very hard, even for those who are not working hard, those who are successful, who are not successful, who are young, who are old, who are rich, who are poor, no discrimination. So therefore, we have to work on something in human life, something extra, something different from what animals are working. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada told in an arrival address when he arrived to New Vrindavan in America, in West Virginia. Prabhupada had a farm community called New Vrindavan. So when he came there on June 21st, 1976, he gave a very short arrival address. We'll read from there. Prabhupada spoke very nicely in that. So he said, after having darshan of the deities in New Vrindavan, so real happiness is here. Sri Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra is staying here, and he is pleased with your service. This is the perfection of life. Keep Krishna always with you and serve him sincerely, then all happiness will come without any endeavor. The foolish people, they do not know. They are trying to improve their economic condition and wasting their time. It has no value. Actually, if you study minutely, what is the benefit of by economic development? Prahlad Maharaj says, waste of time. Why? Because this economic condition is required for a little sense gratification. But that is available for everyone, even in the lower grade of life. They are having all these things without any plan for economic development. Sense gratification is there in different bodies. Just the standard may be different. Standard means our calculation. We are calculating the standard. Otherwise, standard is also same. Prabhupada is saying very nicely. Sex life between dogs and sex life between human beings. The pleasure is the same. There is no change. You don't think that when dogs on the public street enjoy sex life, their standard is less than our sex life in a very nice decorated apartment. Then it's just if one has got fever, it is not that the poor man will suffer more fever and rich man will suffer less fever. No, the fever temperature is same. Then Prabhupada gives a very nice, funny example of pleasure. Just now, Kirtananand Maharaj gave me nice gulab jamun. And another animal, he is also eating pig. He is eating something very abominable to our consideration. Just like a pig eating stool. But he is also getting same pleasure. So Prabhupada is saying that whatever is designated, we will come. God is providing food for the ant and for the elephant simultaneously. So why should we waste our time for this purpose, just eating, sleeping? That is already settled up. That is already. Therefore, we don't need to simply work hard only for that. But for Krishna's service, you have to work. So therefore, Prabhupada said, he ended the lecture by saying, therefore the modern civilization is the civilization of animals running on 4 wheels. The dog is running on its four legs and you are running on your four wheels. What is the difference? So that is the reason why Srimad Bhagavatam Shukadeva Goswami is criticizing this. So now let's have a reality check around us, around ourselves. How do contemporary Indians spend their life? Let's have a reality check. I want to display a few slides which explains this. How do average Indians spend their life? Let's have a reality check. So, average Indian lifespan is 72.5 years as per the life expectancy as on 2025. So 72.5 years average human beings are living. A little bit varies here and there. Said Mataji's live a little longer, it seems. So whatever, but 72.5 years is the average. So how does an average Indian spend his 24 hours of the day? Let's see. 7.5 hours sleep, paid work another almost 7.3 hours, screen time 6.7 hours. In that for work only 3.3 hours, for entertainment 3.4 hours. Meals and personal care 1.5 hours. Commute 1.2 hours, may vary in Bangalore. Social or family time 1 hour, only 1 hour for family. Unpaid household work 1 hour. And other activities 0.8 hours. So approximately coming to total 24 hours. Now let's see this 24 hours stretched into the average lifespan and see what is the return on the investment of our life. How much time we spend in our life in terms of years on these various activities. On sleep, 7.5 hours a day. Can anyone come up quickly? What may be the number of years? 20 years? 22.6 years is mentioned here. Let's see the next. What is the next activity which takes most time after sleep? Other than sleep, what it takes most time in all our lives? Can anyone tell what else? 8 hours? Working. Okay, let's see. Screen time. That is actually taking most time. More than work, screen time. Total screen time, including work and entertainment, takes 20.24 hours. We are spending most time with our screen, apart from sleeping. In that work or screen time of work is 9.97 years, but for entertainment it is 10.27 years. Okay, what can be the next? What we spend most time after this? Other paid work, as Prabhu said. Other paid work means apart from on the screen, there are other works we do for payment. 2.11 years. Then what else? Next, what it may be? Eating. Eating, I don't think we are spending so much time on eating. Depends. Meals and personal care, correct. How much? Anyone can say? How many years we may spend in meals and personal care? 4.53 years. 4.5 years in meals and personal care. Meals little less, personal care little more. Maybe. Depends. Somebody else meals more, personal care less. Whatever. Overall, 4.53 years. Commute. Travel. Bangaloreans will tell more number. But on a national average, 3 years, 3.02 years. Other than this, social family time, all that put together, let's see. This is the return on investment of life. Sleep 22.6, paid work 12 points, screen time 20.24, 9.97. Here 12 I have said because combining both the screen and non-screen work, both. Entertainment 10.27, meals and personal care 4.53, commute 3.62, social family time 3.02, unpaid household work 2.42 years. Totally coming to 72.5 years. This is how we are spending our life. So, what we have analyzed now, in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, Sri Prahlad Maharaj, at the age of just 6 years, he already analyzed. And he gave a statistic. Let's see what is his statistics. He is saying the activity breakdown of human life. Sleep 50 years. Childhood immaturity 10 years. Youth in sports and play 20 years. In old age and invalidity 20 years. This is at that time for 100 years lifespan. 50 plus 20, 70, 80, 90, 100. In the 100 years this is. Now anyway we are not living 100 years. So all proportionately everything is reduced. So from time immemorial, from the Satyayuga till now, average human life is like this only. They didn't have screen time, but we have screen time. So therefore, Shankaracharya mentioned, Balastavat Kridasakta, Tarunastavat Tarunisakta, Vriddastavat Chintasakta, Pare Brahmani Kopi na Saktaha. When one is a small boy or a small girl, when one is a child, one is attached to playing. Kridasakta. When one is a youth, they are attached to impressing the opposite gender. Young man to young woman to young man. When old, one is attached to, what are old people attached to? We may think that actually old age, no, they'll all actually be attached to God. That is the time. Usually we tell all old people at the home, Yakamma inge Rama Krishna ankobarda sumne. But actually they are attached to Chinta, anxiety. What will happen for themselves and for the future generations. Now I am there, now only they are like this. What will happen when I am gone? What they will do, this family? Like that. Chinta sakta. So therefore, nobody is attached to Supreme Lord. This is the lamentation of Adi Shankaracharya. So, when this is the reality, now let's see a breakdown. Because this is the most dangerous thing, which even I am guilty of. Nobody is exception for this. All of us, this is where our time goes. Let's break down this. We discussed in number of years, number of days, number of minutes, hours. Now let's see in a day, actually, I think most of us will agree, at least I would also agree with this most of the time. This is how our screen time goes. In social media, 2.3 hours. Video streaming, 1.7 hours. Messaging, 1 hour. Gaming, 0.7 hours. Web browsing or news, 0.47 hours. And other apps like shopping, finance, productivity, all these kind of. So totally 6 hours, 40 minutes per day we spend. So this is the current reality. So is it only time that we are losing by this? Let's see. It's a very interesting book written by one scholar and author, Rajiv Malhotra. He wrote 2 years back, this book was released about AI and future of power. AI and future of power, artificial intelligence and the future of power. In that book, he says how AI and social media impact spiritual life. Let's go back. Keep that screen only. That is very important screen. Everybody has to focus there also. Let's break down some points, how it affects spiritual life also. AI-powered apps and social media constantly send notifications, suggest content, keep users scrolling. For a spiritual aspirant, this splits their attention, makes it harder to focus on practices like japa, meditation, chanting, or even studying. Suppose a devotee sets aside the morning for japa, but as soon as they check their phone for the time or for an alarm or for something else, AI curated notifications will pop up. One quick check, we'll think, leads to half an hour of scrolling, reading trending posts, watching short videos. By then, the mind is restless, distracted, much harder to settle into meditation. So, Rajiv Malhotra ji says, it is hijacking of attention, driven by algorithms designed for engagement, not inner peace. So, try to think what you find most distracting on your own phone. You can all make out. Then, not only this taking away attention, there is one more wonderful thing which happens, which is a trend among all, especially younger generation, not only younger, I think even older also maybe. Spirituality for social validation. Many people now share spiritual experiences mainly on social media for likes, comments, and attention, rather than for internal growth and for inner transformation. I chanted today so much. In Vrindavan, chanting this many rounds. Not wrong to write, but then going on checking. Oh, see how many of my friends saw this? How many liked it? How many commented on this? How many are sharing it? So this turns the practice into performance for external approval rather than for personal insight. So person might record themselves chanting, visiting temple, going to Dham Yatra, posting it online. No problem. There's no harm if we simply want to post and share with friends. But then we go on to collect likes and praise. We are doing it, so I want to get how many people liked, how many people saw, how many people are sharing, how many people are engaging with this post. So this shift makes spiritual activities less about inner realization, more way to build social status. Instead of focusing on the experience, the motivation becomes external recognition. So ask yourself, do you notice yourself wanting to share spiritual moments online and so that people can recognize, like, and share? What feels different between sharing and simply practicing it in private? We have glorious examples in our parampara like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, pure devotee, illiterate, can't even read, pure devotee. So many people used to go to Babaji, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Please give me your blessing, please give me your blessings. So he would keep one stick. As soon as anybody comes, he'll beat them. Because he doesn't want attention. Even then people will come. So he will go where? He will go to public toilet and he will sit there and chant. So nobody will come, nobody will like that. They are one example. And now we have the smart examples. Then, the third point, loss of authentic experience, even in spiritual life, and manipulation. You might have seen Although you use your smartphone mostly to see Krishna conscious content and good content, whatever you are wanting to see, learn something for that also. But what happens, based on whatever you are seeing, sometimes not even, although not directly related or not even very, this thing, AI will see, if you are seeing this, maybe you will like that also. And it will push that content. Maybe in some conversation, somewhere something you spoke, it will hear. And then it will start showing that in some other content. AI algorithms boost popular, sensational spiritual content rather than authentic traditions. Users are often nudged towards whatever get the most clicks, which may dilute or distort real teachings and experiences. If someone searches online about yoga or meditation, social media platforms show, first what they will show, first result, sponsored gurus, right? Sponsored ads will come first. Whoever spends more money, their result will come first. That is how SEO works. This misleads seekers and erodes the depth of their practice. So in essence, it does three things. Apart from taking away our time, it does three things: distraction, validation, manipulation. Distraction. It will grab our attention, making us focus on it instead of spiritual practice. So distraction. Validation. Our practices should get validation from outside, from the world. They should all like. And manipulation. Algorithms will push different content to manipulate our understanding. So how our free will is affected by all this? By this algorithm, it will prioritize content based on what the most users get engaged, and it will nudge us towards certain behavior, ideas, or products. Suppose you go online and buy something which you essentially you need, something you will buy. Immediately in Amazon or Flipkart or whichever platform it is, so you may also like. People often buy this with this. And this combo is there with this much discount. Very quickly it will do that. Predictive targeting. It will predict what you may get like according to your personal habits, preference, even moods. And by that we become habituated and dependent. So AI and digital platforms collect data about your habits, preferences, moods, reducing us to a biological algorithm rather than what we are actually learning in spiritual life. What the first thing we want to learn is, who am I? I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But with this screen time, with this thing, we are mostly becoming conditioned to understanding we are biological algorithm. We are just a product. You know, no famous statement in marketing, nothing comes free. If something is being sold free, you are the product. So, this is what happens, habituation and dependency. Apart from that, we are also using, of course, so many things are for good also we use. It's not, I'm not saying digital technology is very bad, nothing is good about it. There are apps to track our heart rate, that's okay. Track our, during COVID, it started that before that we had not even heard what is this SpO2, that oxygen concentration. Now that also respiratory rate we are counting. All this in smartwatch it will come, we are having. But now they are developing further to even gauge what are our emotions, what mood we are in at that time, and it will predict based on that what we should do. I suggest you may be feeling low. Why don't you play this music? Why don't you watch that? Why don't you do this? So this all makes us difficult to turn inward. So with all this said, let us ask this basic question. Is digital technology good or bad? Yes. Limited is good. Okay. The way we use. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, very famous, very simple example, which all of us have heard. Is a knife good or bad? Knife is neither good nor bad. It is just an instrument. How the knife is used, the user is good or bad, not the knife, right? Similarly, how we use makes it good or bad. Let's go forward. You see, the person who invented telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, he said during that time, now we are carrying everything, smartphone in pocket and going. When he had just invented telephone, he refused. He said, I will not keep it in my office. It is a distraction. So inventor of telephone refused to keep it in his office. So he knew, if I keep too close, because I invention, why this thing, I will get attached, I will start using so much, it will become distraction. So he did not. And another famous scientist, Albert Einstein, he said, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Welcome to this generation. Right? We will learn to encourage, we all interact. But in WhatsApp, in Insta, in Snapchat, more than in person. That is the generation of idiots. So as we discussed about knife already, the problem is with the user. Can we move on? We discussed this. So what is the problem? Let's move on. Move the slides further. So what is the problem? Let us see. The next slide. Over 2000 years ago, Socrates and Aristotle debated the nature of akrasia, tendency to act against our better judgment. No, even though we don't want to do, still we end up doing. They debated that 2000 years ago. To the ancient Greeks, mere mortals, what they decided, Socrates and Aristotle, they decided, we are all mere mortals, we are prone to distraction due to our weakness of mind. Now, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita this much before Socrates and Aristotle debated this. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked question to Krishna, Atakena prayintoyam papam charati purushaha anichanapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? And Krishna answered, it is because of mind. And if that mind is controlled, then it is our friend. If it is not controlled, it is our enemy. Bandhuratma atmanastasya yenatmatvatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartet atmaiva shatruvat. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of the friends, but for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So, with this understanding, let us understand. Let us see what we have to do. So, are my devices messing with my brain? Very simple. We all can conclude by now. Yes, it is messing with our brain. It can, as such, the studies which was published in Time magazine says, it can take your brain 15 to 25 minutes to get back to where it was after stopping to check an email or a message or a social media notification. Social media. You are not able to think as deeply on something when you are being distracted every few minutes. And thinking deeply is where real insights come from. So, one more very interesting study conducted by a Harvard professor, Arthur C. Let's go back, this is later. Arthur C. Brooks, he explained very nice. This video is available in YouTube, you can see that are you worried how to not get bored or something like that. Bored you can put. Bored and Harvard professor Arthur C. Brooks you can put. You will get this video. In this video, Arthur C. Brooks says that the modern technology with smartphones and this thing has made us so much hatred, develop hatred towards boredom. We don't want to get bored. Suppose we get little free time, what we do? What do we do? Open the phone. But actually, if you don't do anything, if you spend time doing nothing, that what happens? Arthur C. Brooks says, boredom unlocks creativity, activates a powerful brain network, might even protect you from depression. Learn how the mind wanders. Sometimes even if you simply sit quiet, you will see actually where your mind is going. Right? It's important. Which we are very famously, we all know when we chant. Where our mind is going. Because that is the time when we do nothing now. Actually we should be hearing, but when we don't hear, we will watch the mind where it is going. Those who say, Prabhu, my mind doesn't wander at all in chanting. Why you know? Why it does not wander? It does not wander because mostly we are holding smartphone and chanting. We are engaged. Mind is engaged there. Mouth is engaged here. Ears are engaged somewhere. So we are not distracted. Distracted by something else. So what is the solution? Solution is, of course, nothing great, revolutionary, which we all don't know. And nobody is an exception. I am not an exception. I have also been guilty of doing this. Everybody is interesting. When you are bored, you start thinking. Actually what happens is, if we get bored, if we don't do nothing, if we don't do anything, when we are bored, we start thinking. And when we start thinking, if you all recall the day when how you came to Krishna consciousness, what led you to come to Krishna consciousness? Somewhere all of us would have pondered on some questions which are uncomfortable, which are existential questions of life. Who am I? What is all this? What is this life? Where am I? Where have I come from? What is God? Somewhere, sometime that questions would have come. And that questions led us to Prabhupada, and finally we became Krishna conscious. The nature of how and what details may differ in every case, but all of us have pondered at least a little bit. With the advent of smartphones and use of smartphones, that opportunity to ask that questions is reduced almost to nil. Because there is no time to think all these things. Because what we are doing, the moment we get time, open, browse, see. The machine will tell you what you should think. So you will not think anything else. So definitely there are positives, but also there are negatives. So boredom is not a bug. Boredom is good if we use that for contemplating on the Lord. And now when we are practitioners, Srila Prabhupada says, recently Madhupandit Prabhu also shared this in an association, that Prabhupada said 16 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna mantra is minimum, not maximum. After that, Kirtaniya sada hari. Chant always. Whenever you get time, chant. And that's why Prabhu said, therefore, always carry a chanting bag. Even you have finished 16 or did not finish 16 or carry chanting bag with you. If you are carrying, then you will remember, oh, chanting, I can chant. Then you will chant. So first step is to do mindful japa. Like this. Chant, 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 chant. Become mindful, at least that I should chant. Even before mindful japa is to become mindful to chant. Mindful to do japa. For that, practically what we should do 3-4 things. We should establish some no phone zones. In this area, this place, I will not keep phone with me. Turn off notifications of so many apps. Only very essential call and message, that too not with ping, not only for call it should ring. For message and all it should not even do ping. It can just show on the screen sometime or it can vibrate or that's all. No need to see. Turn off all other notification. Then even in smartphones itself there is managing screen time apps. The phone only will say, today you used so much screen time over. Please don't use further. But above all that, in this age of Kali, as Krishna himself says, Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. This maya is very, very formidable. It cannot be overcome. Therefore, mamevaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. You have to surrender to the Lord. Only you have to surrender to the Lord. My Lord, please give me protection against this. So, while chanting, hearing, chanting, hearing, chanting, hearing. Lock your attention to chanting, hearing. Even if you are using your smartphone to keep soulful japa presentation while chanting, also better put in aeroplane mode and then use the presentation. So then you are focused on only that. So let us today, including me, at least I am going to take sankalpa, not to use smartphone during chanting, no notifications except for calls, implementing no phone zones, no phone times. Certain no phone zone, certain no phone time. After all, as I began the association, began the class, began today's session, that I gave up so many things which are the most important phase of our life. To think this is the most important thing, and we join giving up that rat race. Now if we get into the same race of likes, comments, shares, subscribe, then what is the use? What is the difference between Nidraya Hridayate Naktam Yavaji? What the Shukadeva Goswami is mentioning here, it applies not just to non-devotees, to all of us as devotees as well. So before we end, I would just like to tell one more last thing. When we tell, this is the common question many people ask whenever we say no spiritual life, because I started my session with this, that I left my career and joined full time. Hey, this is all spiritual life you should do in the mature stage, when you become mature. Now you don't have any experience. Probably you are inexperienced, probably the rat race, most important, that frustrated you and so you joined. Mostly people think like that also, right? They think that may be the reason. Usually when we join and when we, most common question they ask ISKCON devotees. When people outside, when we meet, most common question asked is, how did you join? Why did you join? Arey Prabhuji, kya ho gaya aapko? Why did you join so young? What happened? Love failure? Some other problem? Failed in exam? Failed in career? Family problem? What problem? No problem. Only realize that you are in problem. That's why I joined. So people who say in mature stage, in old age, we have to offer ourselves. When we love someone, we always offer fresh gifts. Do we give an old rotten rose on February 14th, which was purchased on February 1st? and give, "Oh, I love you, my dear Valentine." Similarly, youth is the time to practice and spread Krishna consciousness. Adi Shankaracharya says, "Angam kalitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchati asha pindam." You are thinking old age we will become Krishna conscious. Adi Shankaracharya is saying, what happens in old age? Strength has left the old man's body. Head has become bald. Gums are toothless. And he is leaning on crutches. Even then, the attachment is strong and he clings firmly to fruitless hope. If one has not practiced spiritual life, Krishna consciousness from the young age. Prime example is Maharaj Dhritarashtra. In Srimad Bhagavatam we will see, we already saw I think in first canto, Raja Dhritarashtra, so much he was attached to his family, correct, to his sons. Although he knew Duryodhana was wrong, he defended, he did not give up the kingdom. As a result, so many people died in Kurukshetra war. After that, Yudhishthira was enthroned. Still, he was not ready to leave. He is still staying in the same palace. Then, Vidura came to King Dhritarashtra and he said this. You can see? Can you go further? Can you go further? Yes. You have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened, your intelligence is disturbed, your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus. Still you want to stay here. So after he shook up Dhritarashtra like this, then Dhritarashtra understood and he gave up, and he went with Vidura and Gandhari to the forest. He practiced yoga and he gave up his body in an ideal way. So even in old age, people will be attached. In contrast, let us see today's verse. Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result, can you move? As a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals, like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. He was the emperor of the entire world, more powerful than Donald Trump. No need of applying tariffs. Everything was coming to him only. But he gave up. Because wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna. So what is maturity? So let's see. You see the maturity of Prahlad Maharaj. He was 6 years old, but he was mature. Why? When did he become mature? When did Prahlad Maharaj become mature? In the womb of his mother. When Narad Muni spoke to his mother, Bhagavatam, he was hearing within the womb and he understood what is the essence of life and he became devotee. So matured, he became mature that time only. And here we have people saying, why this is not, you are not yet matured. At the old age, when you become mature, you practice Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj started in the womb. And he also told, Kaumaram acharet pragnyo dharman bhagavataniha. You have to practice Krishna consciousness at the very tender age of childhood. Because he already gave activity breakdown. So therefore, that if it was true in Satya Yuga, in this Kali Yuga, which is the age of distraction, it's not just age of hypocrisy and quarrel. The modern age with modern smartphones is age of distraction, validation and manipulation. The only way to achieve maturity is to become Krishna conscious, to surrender to Lord Krishna's lotus feet by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra very attentively and hearing what we chant. Chant and hear the same sound that you are chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we will be able to make our lives meaningful and not simply a waste of time, as what is explained by Shukadeva Goswami in this today's verse. We will stop here. We have almost overshot time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.